Hi, my name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. So today I had intended to go live on YouTube, but my mom and her husband and their baby puppies and my daughter all stopped by after I went live on Facebook, and they stayed for longer than I thought. But you know, you work from home, and so when people come to your house, that's part of the reason I work from home, is so I can enjoy those family moments. So they were here longer than I thought. So I'm going to do these tutorials taped, and then I'll do a live on YouTube next week. But I will show you the projects that I did on my Facebook Live, and I'll give you the link so you can go over there, because I'm doing a drawing for the projects that I did. So if you comment on those, you can have a chance to win those. And then in the amount of time that it would have taken me to do a live, because to set that, get up, all that technical stuff that it takes to do a YouTube live, I'll be able to record 3 videos, so I can get the 2 projects I had for YouTube and another one, so we'll have videos for the weekend, and I can get my email out. So, you know, I had to pick which one I wanted to do, and I opted to go that way. But I'll go live on YouTube next week. I think we may get snowed in, so I'll have lots of time for that. But I am in the middle of Celebration, where I am using everything that's in this catalog before it expires at the end of February. So you'll want to keep watching, because there's more. I haven't used the berries yet. That may be the only thing that I haven't used at all yet. And then we'll start to re-hit some of it. Because, well, I guess on YouTube I haven't used the punch party. I'll show you what I did. I did use that over on Facebook. So I'll show you those in just a second. And then I have the berries I'm going to do an online class with, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. That may be the 3rd video I record today, because it will have very limited spacing, because I do have some of those stamp sets. So you could get one of the stamp sets if you haven't earned it yet. You could get it as part of the class. So be watching for that. But I have so many ideas and so little time to use all that fabulous stuff. So one of the things I'm going to use today is, it's a 2-part. Let's start with the chickens, because you've seen the chickens, super cute chickens. So I'm going to use the Hey Birthday Chick, and there's also the Hey Chick. That is my online class that's currently open for registration. So I'm going to combine it today with the paper, which you may have missed because it's not something you can buy, but it is something that you can earn, and it's about a $70 value by the time you add the tax and the shipping. So it is back here on this page here, and it's coming up in the new catalog. So the catalog that will come out in May, the big catalog. So it's every color family. So all 4 color families, and then the current in colors. So the ones I'm working with today on the project for you now are the current in colors. So you get this giant stack, and I've used a bunch, so the stack will be bigger, so bigger than this, for every color family. So that's if you sign up to join Stampin' Up and become a member of anybody's team. But if you're a member of my team, we have lots of fun. And when you're a member of my team, you get to take all of my online classes for free. So you don't, if I offer an online class, as soon as we're done, then I post it over on my team website. So you get to do all of them for free. So that's a huge savings. Then you get 20 to 30% off all of your purchases. So I will have more information on that in one of my emails coming up this weekend. So I'm using this paper. Let me show you what I did on Facebook Live, because I did use that paper, and then I used the punch pack. So if you want to go, I think a punch party stamp set. That's what I did on Facebook today. So if you want to watch the how to make these, then hop over to Facebook, and I'll put that link down below this video. So I just made these really sweet little 3x3 note cards. Super, super cute, because that set uses not all of our punches, but lots of our punches, and they coordinate, and I will put these on my website so you can see the pictures. But I just used all the in colors and just mixed them up with all of the little punches and then all of those little sets to make a really sweet little set of note cards. So I'll put those pictures up on my blog so you can see them. And then I'll put the link there so you can see how I made them. So that's what I have for you now. Let me turn it down, and we'll get you going on this fun Hey Chick card. It's a fast one. You gotta stand up. Okay, so you can see on these, I use the in color paper. So if you sign up to join my team, then you get all of the color families. So I went with the in colors, except for the cinnamon cider. So on this chick card, I chose the cinnamon cider. Wanted to have a little theme going here. So the card base itself is going to be Whisper White. So just fold that in half. And then the card stack is 6 by 6. So I've cut this 5.5 by 3. That way I could get 2 cards out of one. They're double-sided patterns. So this one I thought had a little bit of a feel of fun chicken wire. I mean, our chickens are having a party, so their chicken wire can be a little festive as well. And then I'm going to go, I've used several of the chickens out of this one set. For this one, I'm going to use the one that has, she's floating up with the balloon. So I'm going to stamp her in Memento. I just have a piece of scrap I said Whisper White, basic white, because we've changed white. So stamp her on here. I think this stamp would be super cute to do, like if you have a niece or a girlfriend that's graduating or moving, and you want to put a sentiment in that says you've flying the coop or something, because it looks like she's leaving. So we've got her, and then on the edge of the card, because you can see when we lay this 5.5 by 3 thing on here, we're going to have this little bit. So it comes with some confetti, because she's a pretty chicken, as all of the chickens in this set. So I've got Rococo Rose, and I'm just going to fill in the edges where so it's just not white paper, with just some confetti falling down. And I don't want it to be faded confetti, so every time I stamp, I'm just going to re-ink it. I'm just kind of going different ways with it, so it doesn't look like it's all the exact same stamp. Give it a little bit of twirly effect. So that's all the stamping we need to do for this. Now because I have this stuff for all of the projects laying here, I don't have a ton of table space. Let's go ahead and cut this stuff out. The reason I like to cut these things out before I color, kind of. It's a double-edged sword. Decide what you like the best. But I have found that way, if you take the time to color it and it moves it all, then you've just wasted your coloring. She's a little bit difficult to color once you've cut her out, because that little balloon kind of wobbles. But I'd rather be careful coloring and know that she's perfectly cut out. So let's move this over here. So we have our cut and emboss machine. And then we've got a couple of different pieces. And we can't get it all on one go, so we'll do it in 2. Oops, this is 4. There's a really cute happy birthday, and you will use this all of the time. So even when you're not making chick cards, this is one of those dies. I know a lot of you keep your dies in your sets. I have them on a magnet board, so mine are all mixed up anyways. And I have a magnet board over in my closet, in my cabinet, where I keep all of them. And I try to keep them kind of together in sets. And then I have a rolly cart that sits next to me that has all of my 12 by 12 cardstock in it, and designer series paper. And in that one, on that cart, I added some magnet sheets down the side to that. And then over on that one, I keep all of the dies I use the most. So this one's going over there, because this happy birthday doesn't have to be just on the chickens. You will use this happy birthday all of the time, because it's just a fun font. Really good for guy cards or for kid cards. So these are the two of the foils from our Love Always foils, which I have been addicted to, and it was laying on the table, and I was like, you know what? That looks beautiful with the cinnamon cider. Actually, I'm going to switch it, because we need 2 of the banners and 2 of the fences, and I only need 1 of the happy birthdays and 1 chicken. So since I'm going to have to roll it twice, let's figure out how we're going to get the best bang for a buck rolling. And then just hold it tight. Always make sure that you hold on until everything's grabbed that matters, because she matters. Once she's grabbed, she's good. The fence and the banner, they didn't matter because if they squished it at all, they were just on plain cardstock. But see, I did that on purpose. Because if I had taken, I wanted her to squidge a little bit to show you that if you take the time to color, because I've had it happen at camps and stuff sometimes. People color and then it moves. And so they just spent all that time coloring and then it moves. As it so happens, I was going to do that on purpose. I intentionally lined her up a little bit crooked and I have another one already cut out. So now let's get the rest of these and then I'll get my good one. But that was why I wanted to tell you that most of the time, I think it's a wiser decision to go ahead and cut first and then color. Because you don't want to cut crooked on all your beautiful coloring. So we need 2 more of these and then we need our happy birthday. And then I will grab my properly cut out chicken. And this little banner here, save all, if it's a color you think at some point you might use on these, just go ahead and save little scraps of paper like this because they'll work perfect. And then let's get this. And you can see these are pretty small pieces of the foil because I have been using it. I am addicted to that stuff. And I've been using it on tons of cards. And so I've just been, I have a little bowl here. I have cute little bowls that sit on my table. And as I've been getting down to smaller bits of paper, I've just been throwing them in there because I knew that I would come up with something. It's too pretty to throw out. So let me grab my chicken. Okay, so pull all these out. Make sure you don't lose any dye. Everything comes out really easily. The only thing that you might have to poke out are these little things in between the A's and the P's on your happy birthday. I find on the cardstock they come out right easily, but with the foil, because there's that extra little shiny, just use some, you take your pick or your scissors and they just fall right out. If you leave them in, it's not as stark a happy birthday image. Get my other fence post. And then this card doesn't take long at all. And I'm going to grab my good chicken. And these are the colors. I went pretty much with the same colors of the card that I was already using. So I've got her balloon is going to be in the rose. So get a little bit of the dark rose. And this is where you have to kind of hold on to her balloon so you don't tear the string. You could always mount it back together. So put some dark there. And then all of her highlights here are going to be in the rose. Because I didn't want there to be too many colors on this card. So just add these little dark highlights in. All her little bits there. And then let's get her light rose. Just kind of blend that around. She's a lot of fun to color. And over here, so her little wings, her rose. It kind of keeps it at, we're really going for just 2 colors on this card. And then up here again, kind of just hold on to her balloon so she doesn't tear. And kind of wisp this around in here. Now, rose is one of our outgoing in colors. So anything that you have that is in the colors that will go away when the current catalog goes out, the annual catalog, you will want to make sure that you have refills, or if there's a paper color that you love of the cardstock, you'll want to start getting that. And Celebration's a perfect time to get it because then at least you get some other stuff to go with. Now her little bow right here that's holding the balloon on, I just did that also. Because some of that will sell out. It doesn't, all the colors don't always sell out, but we never know which is going to be the ones that do and which are the ones that don't. Now this is the light pumpkin pie. So get her little beak and her feet. So I went with the light because I didn't want her beak and her feet to be the same color, but you're going to see just how nicely it blends all into the card. So even though I've introduced a color that really wasn't part of the color scheme, it blends really well. So this is Ivory, and this will finish off her face and her tail and her wings. And again, it doesn't add another color. It's kind of a lighter cinnamon. You can kind of blend that down. And any place that if you feel like you have too much of the rose, you can almost erase it with this, because the Ivory is one of our neutral colors and blends. I kind of like her being pink pink. But if you feel like you got too much, if you had a heavy hand, you can kind of pull that down into there. And then we're going to take our dark cinnamon cider. The ink colors that are this paper, these ones have another year. That's why they'll be in the catalog. And you can kind of see how her little feathers are just kind of everywhere on this. So I'm just kind of highlighting those and then giving her outsides a little. And then take your light cinnamon. And kind of blend them. And again, if there's a little bit of white, that's fine. Gives a little bit of highlight so you don't feel like you have to color every last inch of everything. Just kind of blend that all in. In fact, a lot of times if you leave a little bit of white, it makes your overall image look a little bit lighter and not so stark. So get her colored like that. And then I'm going to take my Ivory one more time, because remember I told you it's kind of a neutral. And then that way I'm going to just soften some of the cinnamon and blend it a little bit. And kind of pull it so her tail and her body kind of go into matching. Same with her wings here. So there's not that stark line. If you can see right here, I'll try to zoom the camera in on that when I edit. So you can see that line right there. I don't want there to be a line. I want it to look like there's a natural, see, it just disappeared. So that line goes away. So it doesn't look like, well, there's where I stopped coloring her body and that's where her wings started. And same here where I don't want those whites in between her wings and her body. And if you use this Ivory and you go over like the top of her head and these places here, you can do both at the same time because they both have those colors. So that's all the coloring we need to do. So she's super cute. And now we just need to stick it all together. So let's take this. This obviously is going to go in the middle. I'm going to use the chicken wire kind of side, but you could use the other side if you'd rather. Or if you just have cinnamon cardstock, you could put this through a texture folder. And let's start up here at the top. Pop this one out, it's stuck in there. So you could use adhesive sheets for any of these. I did not, because I thought I was going to be on YouTube doing this live, and messing with those when you're on live. Sometimes I tend to lay them down and then other stuff on the table gets stuck to them. But you don't have to. It would stick a little bit better if you did. So I've got one of the little banners up there. So just lay them on the back of whatever adhesive, if that works with snail, and it works with this, it works with fast fuse. So just lay it on there and then pull. You do need to pull, otherwise you use up that adhesive and then there's nothing left. And then kind of crisscross these so it goes to the other corner. And just angle them so it goes from the top of the card to wherever it hits. And then we're gonna need our fence. So I started from one fence post. I didn't put it quite to the edge. And again, I just put adhesive here. And then over on this one, you have to make sure that you still are pulling it so it's dragging it out. And then almost to the bottom. And then I took her, because I want her to look like she's kind of flying up from behind the fence and kind of wedged her back in there. And then I put some adhesive here. And then again, under where her balloon was going to be there. I thought about trying to pop her balloon up, but I was afraid it might snap off because it's a pretty fine little line there. Now I know I have another fence because I know that I cut 2 of them. Is it still in here? It is. I was afraid I was going to have to cut another fence. So for this one, because I don't want it to look like this is going off into the Never Never, I'm just going to snap that off. That is not a Stranger, the fiction. It's not a Netflix show. That is actually a long lost Aussie thing that I just said. I don't know where the Never Never came from. But now you can put this here, and now your fence is about equal distance from card to card. And you don't have that little thing going to whoop whoop. There, we'll do another Aussie slang. So now I'm just going to take my happy birthday and again, just pull some on, or you could use the adhesive sheets. That's why I did her first. That's why now I know exactly where I have, because this doesn't quite all fit on a card this direction, but we can make it. Then I just wanted to add a little bit of bling because she's super fancy. So 2 things. I have used up all of my Stella. There is one on the way. But in my winter retreat, we did a ton of coloring with Stella. So I used mine up. So I have my Champagne Mist paint and I have my empty Stella, which, you know, works perfectly. So just take a little bit of this. Make her balloon nice and sparkly. And I'm not coloring the whole thing. I'm doing the same thing where I wisp around the edges so it gives it a fun little thing. And then I'm going to put some on her tail. So she's sparkly. A little bit on her wings. And then when you put the lid back on this, it keeps it perfectly dry. It will be just like a Stella because that doesn't dry as long as the lid's on, and then you can just keep using it that way. And then here's another little storage tip for you. When you start to run, like when your embellishments get where there's not very much left, I just take them and I keep them, I cut them off. I don't keep them on their giant backings anymore, and I just keep them in here. That way when I have a card like this, I can just pull it open. And I had some of the little champagne rhinestones. I have a whole bunch of things in here. But look, the champagne rhinestones, there's 3 right there. Also, if you do my classes, and sometimes you might get extras because my counting is bad. Or sometimes I just throw them in there. Or you don't use them on a card because maybe you didn't like that particular card. Then just keep them in something like this. And when you're doing a card, open them up and see. I don't know that I originally thought I was going to put the candy dots. That's not what we call them anymore. The cinnamon embellishments. That's what I was going for, but there weren't any in there. And the champagne were. And I really liked them. They added just enough little sparkle to her. Because, you know, you don't see a floating from a balloon hen and think, oh, champagne rhinestones. Unless you're in Card World. Then you can. Look how sweet she is. Isn't she cute? Here's my other one. Okay, I was going to say there's not too many things you could do differently on this card. The coloring may be a little bit different. Obviously, my placement was a little bit different because I was able to get her a little bit lower and that a little bit higher. Except I always tell you 3 embellishments because that's what they teach you at art school is to work in 3s. But this one flew out of my thing and it kind of landed. So she has a fancy brooch on. So there is today's project. I'm going to clean all this up and then I'm going to move straight to my other one that I was going to do on YouTube Live for you. If you're interested in getting the paper, remember it's totally free. You'll get a ton of it if you join my team. And that's not the best part that you'll get because the best part's always getting a discount and then always getting my classes for free and being part of my team. But the paper special just lasts through February. And to sign up for my chicken class, the registration for that is coming up on a close. But I'll have some more for you later. I do have 2 sets that I'm doing a drawing for. The Punch Party and the berries will both be sets that I'm giving away over the weekend. So all you have to do is place an order by February 16th. All those names will go into a hat, and then 2 of you will each win a set. So everybody have a great weekend. Bye.